So I was not sure if I was going to make this video or not, but I decided I am going to because it has come to my attention that some people are either upset on the content that I have been covering, the way that I have covered it, or the lack of coverage in some other news that is currently happening around the world and the US. So I figured I would come on here and have a very candid conversation with everybody about exactly what I do, why I do it, and how much money I make from doing what I do. You guys will not be impressed. You will not be impressed. So a little bit of a background. Obviously, I have been doing and covering Nebraska things since 2020 when the protests started. I was out on the streets. I was out marching, covering everything, live streaming everything, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, it feels like, of live streams that have gone up for free without any kind of paywall. All right. So some of the comments that I have been receiving this week with everything has made me extremely frustrated, to be honest, just because I feel like people don't understand that I essentially come on here and do all of this stuff for free. You are able to see all this content without any kind of paywall for free. So when I have people coming down my neck on different things, it really does make me upset. When I went off to Arizona after I graduated in 2020, December in 2022, I was very proud of that because I was the first college graduate in my family. I received my degree in journalism and broadcasting. I went to Arizona. Actually, no, I was gathering content before I went to Arizona, but I was also live reporting at the Capitol. If you remember, I was live reporting from the Capitol. I was live tweeting from the Capitol and all of that stuff, right? Didn't make any money doing that. I went to Arizona, did the investigative reporting on America After Row. You guys should go check it out. News21.AmericaAfterRow, news21.com.AmericaAfterRow. Won many awards from that investigation. The entire team did. We won a Webby Award. I got to go to New York to the Webbies. We won the RFK Human Rights Book in Journalism Grand Prize Award that only big outlets have won, such as like the AP, New York Times, things like that, like those calibers. We won their grand prize for the reporting that we did. After I came back, I thought to myself, I'm not going to have a hard time getting a job. Like, this is going to be great. I have all of this experience, everything that I had done. I interned for Nebraska Examiner. I had freelance and also interned for Flatwater Free Press, both of which declined to give me an actual full-time job after I came back. Just full transparency. I applied for so many journalism jobs. That's why I had really pulled back on the reporting I was doing, because I was really focusing on trying to get an actual job at a news agency, right? I applied everywhere you can think of. ABC Chicago did not get it. ABC New York, like local jobs, did not get that. Washington Post to be a local reporter, and also one of their enterprise reporters, did not get that, was declined from the Associated Press, declined from the New Republic, declined from the Lincoln Journal-Star, declined from Nebraska Public Media. Nobody thought that I was good enough to give me a job. Even people that I had already worked with before, that had seen the work that I had done, right? So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to focus on my own thing and do my own reporting, which I have been doing. For me to come on here as a one-man show and do everything and put out the content that I have been doing over the last few weeks, consistently, at the level of quality, the level of information, the level of succinctness, and the level of quality is impressive, objectively speaking. It is, because it's not easy to do it. So you know what? I have to work a other completely different job. When people come here to this studio, they're like, wow, this studio is very nice, right? But the jobs that I actually get from doing photography and videography for private clients is what pays for all of this, right? Like, how do you think these studio lights stay on, right? Like, how do you think we're able to operate in here? Because I have to go and do a whole bunch of other stuff right? And work another job that's actually in Omaha. So I wake up at 5 in the morning, around 5:15 in the morning, leave my house, my apartment by like 6:15, 6:30 at the latest, get to Omaha, work my job in Omaha, right? An hour away. Then after I get off of there, drive back to Lincoln, come directly to my studio and go through all the news and try to crank out these videos every day, right? And then I translate them to Spanish. And by the time that I get home, it's usually 10 o'clock at night. I eat whatever I can, go to bed by 11, sometimes midnight, because sometimes I'm here very late. And then I wake up and do it all over again. So I get extremely frustrated when people come on here and call me. And so I get extremely frustrated when people come on here and say things that insult my skill level, insult my journalistic ethics, insult my determination, my passion, and my work ethic. I take serious issue with that, right? So I am going to talk about a couple of these comments, and then I'm going to show you guys. I'm literally going to go through each one of my social media accounts so you guys can see exactly the metrics and exactly how much money I have made in 2025. This comment right here, Jazari, why are you covering Charlie Kirk when there's all this racism and stuff that's happening in Nebraska? I understand that. I know that. I have been covering a lot of things that have been affecting marginalized communities and communities of color in Nebraska since 2020. And that community is not showing up to make sure that I have everything that I need to keep going forward, right? Like the support is not there. Liking, sharing, commenting, getting views does not generate income. It does not. It does not unless you are getting millions upon millions upon millions of views. Like you are one of these giant creators on YouTube. If you're Brian Tyler Cohen, you're Kyle Kalinske, you're these other people out there, right? You're Megyn Kelly getting millions of dollars from SiriusXM. You're Joe Rogan with these $100+ million deal. Like I don't have that. I don't have that. So I work another job to be able to fund all of this, to give you all of this content for free. The questioning of my journalistic ethics and professionalism from this guy, Zach McCauley, this is the one and only response you will ever get from me, Zach. So do with that with what you will. But this individual decided I was an unethical journalist. I was a failed journalist simply because I would not jump to the conclusion and say Charlie Kirk's assassin or suspected assassin was a leftist or a Democrat or a trans person. Like this guy got upset and called me an unethical journalist because I wouldn't do that. And so this top one right here are comments. And then on the bottom one was messages that he kept sending me. This obsession is getting out of hand. You insult my professionalism. You insult my morals and ethics. And then you come into and then you say all of these insulting things, and then say you want to team up and make a show like Breaking Points together. Bro. Okay. Now let's get to the title of this video. Exactly how much money I make. I'm going to go first through my personal Facebook, and then analytics. Then I'm going to go through the account that has 9,000 followers, that Jazari Qual page, and then the Jazari Qual show. And then I will go to YouTube and then Patreon and then TikTok and Instagram. Okay, here we go. On my personal Facebook profile, going from January 1st to September 14th, 1,255,913 views the previous 257 days. These are all the metrics. This looks exactly like yours looks like. This looks like exactly like yours looks like, right? Earnings, $0. $0. January 1st to September 14th, nothing. Let me hop on to, the page. Insights. January 1st to September 14th, today, 5,938,683 views, almost 6 million views in the last 257 days. A huge jump was here when I was talking about the Super Bowl, right? All the other metrics, again, this looks exactly like yours if you have a Facebook page or profile. As you can see, some of like the Super Bowl stuff at the bottom, top content, all of that. Earnings. Earnings, $370, or total, $470.89. My studio costs way more than that. The rent to pay this costs way more than that. And keep in mind, that's for this entire year so far. So in 257 days of posting on this page, I have made $470.89. $470.89 in 2025 from this page. The largest of which comes from, content monetization, like the ads that's placed on there. But I have also noticed that when I start to get something that really starts performing well, Facebook will demonetize it. Okay. So, subscriptions, those are people who actually sign up. Think of it like a Patreon in Facebook. It's like the monthly subscription, $5 a month. I have gotten $100 from people who have felt that my content and the reporting that I was doing was valuable enough. $100 is all I got for that. Okay. The show. Okay. The Jazari Qual show. Insights, custom, January 1st to September 14th. 754,382 views the past 257 days. So what are we at? Almost 7 million on Facebook alone views this year. All the other metrics, how many 3-second views, how many 1-minute views, all of that. Okay. A lot of it came from when I was adding commentary to the Mike Flood town hall. Earnings. It's loading. January 1st. See, January 1st to September 14th, custom right here. $18.24. $18.24. So that's how much money I made on Facebook so far in 2025. What are we? Less than $500 this entire year? Okay. So when people say, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you covering that? I don't make money from doing this. I don't. Literally, I can't tell you how many times over the last year I have been on the brink of losing my studio. Last year, there was a time where I was so far behind on the rent that my family had to step in and bail me out, which was the first time they'd done anything like that since I was 16 or 15, because I got a job when I was 16 and I've been working ever since. My family has never, ever had to give me money to help me out of any kind of situation because I always find a way. I always work 2 times, 3 times, 4 times as hard. I always do everything that I need to do to get me out of the situation. But since I don't have, a regular, like since I left my job in corporate America, like I was making so much more money then than I am now, but I believe in the reporting that I'm doing. I believe that it provides valuable insight and valuable stuff. I believe that I'm doing something good for American democracy and our country. But I don't get paid from it. You know, people get like these sponsorships, these deals, right? Like people like David Pacman, they're making millions of, there was a whole scandal that just came out with these left-wing commentators that are apparently getting $8,000 a month and didn't want to disclose where they were getting the money from. And their content was being moderated by these people. And you also have like right-wing commentators who are bankrolled by all this dark money. Or you see other people who are like, oh, Casetify, this deal, HelloFresh, Factor, what's the big one? The one with the news, Ground News, right? Nobody's hitting my, I don't get these messages. I don't get these emails. I don't get these partnership or brand deal requests. I just don't. YouTube, right? Right here. See custom, January 1st. Oop. No, you can see right there. January 1st to September 13th, because it won't include today. 159,948 views, right? Watch time over 11,000 hours. Subscribers around 1.1K. This is a real count. 1,078. I full disclosure, I just got monetized on YouTube like a week ago, I believe, once I finally hit 1,000 subscribers, or a little over a week ago. So $10.51 is how much I have made so far on that. Okay. Literally nothing. I don't know if this estimated includes YouTube's portion, because apparently they take like 40%. I don't know. I don't know. This is the first time I have ever been monetized on YouTube, right? TikTok. Don't even know how you get monetized on TikTok. But I guess you have to have like 10,000 followers. Let's look. This is the last 7 days. Let's do custom. January 1st, 2025 to September 13th. And look, I didn't have this TikTok account then. I literally, sometime between then or here, or no, I've had this TikTok account. Okay, I created it back at the beginning of this year, right? In January. Didn't really start posting on it until like mid-June. Okay. 481,000 video views, 4,900 profile views, 61,000 likes, 5.5 thousand comments. All right. You have all the content, when it was posted. I'm not too familiar, but I guess these are all the other creators. Another one, Aaron Parnas, independently wealthy, was already very wealthy when he started doing all of this stuff. And on top of that is making even more money, right? Instagram. This is the last 30 days. Let's do last 90 days, because that's the farthest it will go. It won't let me do a custom one unless I try to do it through Meta, but 58,083 views, right? Accounts reached 45,893 individual accounts. I guess this doesn't include, this isn't like a repeat person, like each time somebody visits. I think this is individual accounts. I don't think there's duplicates, but yeah. Don't make any money on Instagram. Oh, and Patreon. January 1st to 2025 till now, 0. I always plug my Patreon. I always put it in the video description, all of that. Nothing. Literally nothing. I literally make nothing on here. I literally make no money doing what I do. And so that's why I get sometimes extremely frustrated when people complain and say, you should be doing this, or you should be doing that. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you covering this? Okay, well then you create a show and you talk about it. You create a show. You create your own show and you do everything that I have done, and you talk about the things you want to talk about. Just to be completely brutally honest, because people seem to get upset at things. And I understand like what it looks like too. Like when you see an account like mine, or you scroll and you see, oh my gosh, like they got a lot of views, they're making millions of dollars. Where would that money come from? Where would that money come from? Have you guys ever seen me do some kind of ad read? Oh, another thing. The one affiliate link that I have was coffee, right? Through the coffee roaster. And they let me know that I just received, there was, this is on my phone. I didn't plug it into OBS before I started, so that I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, on September 10th and twice on the 11th, there were $300 worth of orders that were used my affiliate link. And it looks like my percentage that I get from that is $76.29. So yeah. This video is not to brag or talk about things like that, because when people are just like, I want to be an influencer, I want to do this, and I'm just like, bro, like it doesn't it doesn't pay like people think it does, unless you are getting these brand deals, you're getting these sponsorships. It just doesn't pay. It just doesn't. And then if you pair that, I'm not doing things like, I'm not on TikTok dancing. I'm not making funny prank videos on YouTube. I'm actually talking about things that I believe are important for people to know, right? I'm talking about actual policies and news analysis and things that are important for people to know and how it's affecting their daily lives and the direction our country is headed. That's the kind of stuff that I am talking about. And so I understand, like, when people are like, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about that? I'm one person. I'm literally a one-man show. I do all the research myself. I do all the scripting myself. I do all the recording myself. I do all the editing myself. I do all the posting myself. I do all the social media management myself. I literally do all of this by myself, unless we have like a guest that comes here, and then I have friends who and you know, my cousin, who also have their own lives, their own businesses and their own families and things, but you know, come to help me out. Like I have friends who come and help me. I don't have like this big machine behind me. I'm not Brian Tyler Cohen. I don't have people who work for me. I'm not a brand that has like probably a dozen people on payroll. I just don't. And so I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not asking for anything else, or I'm not trying to brag or flex or things like that, because as you can see, views and interactions doesn't really equate to much money at all, if anything, right? I mean, all the money that I have made this year through social media is still less than what the rent of my studio is for 1 month. Let that sink in. We're almost at the end of the year. I have not made enough in 1 year to cover 1 month of rent for my studio. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So if you would like to support the content, and I don't want to seem like combative. I don't want to seem very like, I don't want to seem very defensive, but it's like, I'm also frustrated, because it's like, I do the best and there was another comment like, why didn't you talk about the stabbing of the Ukrainian girl? You know, I thought you were supposed to be unbiased media. I thought you were supposed to be this, you were supposed to be that. I've been following your content for a long time. I'm disappointed in you. That actually hurt me that like cut deep, because like I said, I wake up at 5 a.m, get ready. I drive all the way to Omaha to work another job to be able to fund a lot of this, right? I wake up and do my absolute best. I put 1,000% into everything that I do for my audience and for you guys and for Nebraska, right? And then to throw it back in my face and say you're disappointed in me because of this one thing that I didn't cover. Are you serious? That really, really hurt. That really hurt. That comment, I will say, was one of the most hurtful comments I have gotten this year, because while you can read 1,000 positive comments and a lot of you guys are very supportive, but like, you read one comment that says, regardless, it doesn't matter all the stuff that you have done, all the work, time, energy, skill, and ethic and work that you've put into this, I'm still disappointed in you because you didn't cover this one story. You know, let's talk about mental health in journalism really quick. When we toured the AP Tower, they said that they have like a whole department to where if reporters are getting targeted or something like that, they will take over that reporter's entire social media account and filter through it and delete things so that they don't have to see all of that. So their mental health doesn't plummet. I don't have that. I'm one person. I'm literally one person. You know, so to hear about this shooting, to hear about this genocide, to hear about people in America going destitute, to hear about people going homeless, people not able to afford food, health insurance being cut, democracy crumbling before our eyes, to digest all of this shit and to put it in 3 minutes or less that is succinct and clear enough for everyone to understand is a lot of mental work. A lot. You read constantly and constantly and constantly, and I'm a pretty empathetic. I'm a very empathetic person, and so, you know, like it gets very, very, very tiring. So when you see people say like support independent media, like that's a real thing. Because I could just, you know, be like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just gonna go, you know, clock in, clock out at a regular 9 to 5, spend time with my family and just stay in my life, delete all these pages and take my life private. I have the option to do that. But no, I'm not going to do that because you know why? I believe in playing the part of saving American democracy and educating the masses and the world to know everything that is going on so that, you know, the people can take back their power. That's why I do what I do. So if you are upset with me for some stuff that I have not covered or stuff that I have not done, and you are upset that as a Nebraskan, I should be focusing more on Nebraskan, well, go to the comment sections of all the other Nebraska media, not Nebraska public media specifically, but you get what I'm saying. All the Nebraska journalists, all the Nebraska news agencies, go into their comment sections, go to their reporters' pages and tell them what they should be covering because they actually get paid to do what they do. I don't get paid for any of this. As you guys had seen, literally, the camera that I am on right now cost $2,500 the body alone. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff is expensive. This microphone, the SM7B that you see everybody have, is like $500. I do everything that I can to bring the quality back here, to make sure that I am giving my audience and giving my followers the absolute best production and the best quality and the best information that I can provide with what I have. And that's no shade to like the other Nebraska like reporters and stuff. I know a lot of them. I'm cool with a lot of them. I'm friends with a lot of them. But when people are like gaslight me and say, "Oh, you say your media," like this comment, "Oh, you say your media. Why aren't you covering this?" Well, go to Flatwater, go to Nebraska Examiner, go to KETV, go to Nebraska Public Media, go to the Lincoln Journal Star, go to the World Herald, go to all these other people and tell them this same thing. Because it's not fair for me to work for free, doing everything that I do and putting it all into this and not getting like, this doesn't keep a roof over my head. This doesn't keep my studio space still here. I'm sorry if I came off too like aggressive or if I came on too strong in this video. Like, you guys know that's not me. Like, I think of myself as like an actual very like kind, sweet person, but I just really needed to get this off my chest. I really needed to get off my chest. So now you guys all know, if you would like to support the show, like I've done other things too, right? Like, remember when I was making t-shirts and stuff like that? I would literally have to like cut everything out through the Cricut machine, get the vinyl, get the shirts, literally press them on myself, package, like doing a lot of stuff to try to like generate income. So the life I live, the things that I do, the places I go, and the stuff that I am able to experience does not come from money that I make doing what I do on the Jazari Qual pages. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Right? It's the other work that I do. It's the photography jobs that I do. It's the videography jobs that I do. It's, my other job that I work, Monday through Friday, that has absolutely nothing to do with journalism or news, that funds a lot of this stuff, or funds my life so that I'm able to come in and do all of this. So full transparency. Now you guys know. If you would like to support the show, you can do it through Patreon. You could buy some coffee and support a local small business as well, because I'm all about bringing other people up with me. You can join the Patreon. You could join the Facebook supporters group. You could send a one-time tip through Venmo or CashApp or Venmo. I don't really use CashApp or PayPal. All those links will be in the description of this video. But yeah, like what else can I say? I'm not Brian Tyler Cohen. I'm not David Pacman. I'm not Kyle Kalinske. I'm not Aaron Parnas. I'm not Joe Rogan. I'm not Tim Pool. I'm not Megyn Kelly. I'm not Candace Owens. I'm not these people who make so much money from all of this. I'm not the Majority Report, right? I'm not the Humanist Report. I'm not the Rational, and everybody does what they do. And this is not like a dig on any of those people, but I'm just trying to I'm trying to let you guys know and understand from where I'm coming from as a small creator out of Lincoln, Nebraska. This is what I'm working with. And this is all I have. So if you made it to the end, love you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.